Hey you guys, we're back with another video. This is Hannah.
And this is Cameron.
And today, we've recently been getting taught by God a couple of things, and one of the things that we recently learned is love. And so today we want to make a quick video for you guys discussing this topic, I guess basically what it feels like or what we perceive love to be, and then what we're learning what love really is. And so this was just really dear to my heart because as he was teaching it to us, it just really brought me closer to her, as well as it was bringing me closer to God at the same time. And so I just really want to share this with you guys.
Yeah, this will be like a part of a couple of videos that we'll post. And it's really just a little chat that we actually already had, but we're just going to record it just because these are things that we're learning inside of our courtship. So we want to give you guys who are also courting and dating with purpose and dating God's way, just some insight on the realness that goes on inside. And so this topic of love is something that we both, but I feel like I have been dealing with very heavily in the past couple of months, just because of how intense it is, and just because of, I guess, how skewed my perception of love was. So yeah, I just want to start with this because I feel like, okay, let's just paint the picture of what people normally think. People think love is. I feel like people think that love is this feeling of like excitement and enjoyment and gratification. They feel like it's that the little tingly feeling in their stomach. It's, you know, the excitement of being with somebody and knowing that, okay, this person loves just me and this person is for me and we can do whatever we want together. Like, it's me and this person against the world. Like, you know, that feeling of people associate with that feeling with love. And I was just showing Cameron, I saw this picture on Instagram and it was somebody's shirt, and the shirt said that, what was it, like that 90s music.
If the love don't feel like that 90s music, I don't want it.
Yeah. And I was really thinking about that. Like, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. And also comparing it to what I feel in this relationship. That junk is not real. Like, it is. There is a feeling associated with love, and that might feel like what that was describing, mm-hmm. but it's not like that all the time, and it's not like that. Like, that's just not what encompasses love. That's not an indicator of love at all. And if a person goes into a relationship and say the person has been dating for 4 months and they don't feel that feeling anymore, then they could already think that, okay, well, that must mean this isn't for me. That must mean, you know, it's over and that our time is up and that we got to move on or whatever. And that's not what that means. You just lost out on what could have been your relationship because you have this conception of what it's supposed to feel like. And relationships and love is way more than feelings. I believe that love is a choice.
Like what she was saying with the 90s R&B thing, that to me, that's really, like she was saying, that is a feeling that's not really love. That's, and if you really want to be real with it, if you're relating what love is supposed to feel like to 90s R&B music, that's lust. That's not love at all. And so when you really look at it, what I want my love to feel like, I want my love to feel like how Christ loves the church. And so Christ loves the church regardless of where the church is, regardless of how the church is treating him, regardless of anything. He still loves them unconditionally, like she said, is a choice. Love is something that I wake up every day and choose to love her, despite how I may be feeling, despite what's going on between us. Every day I wake up, it is a choice to love her. And once you begin to say that love's not a choice and it's just this feeling, you've completely lost what love is, and excuse me, but you will never really find that feeling, because that person will always feel like they have to either prove themselves, or they always have to be doing something to try to keep it fresh, try to keep it new, which is what you're supposed to do. But if that feeling is all that you're living for, then you're going to be chasing that feeling all the time, and it's like chasing happiness. Happiness is constantly fleeting. That's why it's the pursuit of happiness, and you'll be in the constant pursuit of love, and you'll never obtain it. You just got to keep. You really have to change what we perceive love to be. It's not what the world says. It's really what's in the Bible. And if you look at what love is in the Bible, if you look at how I guess the main example is Christ with the church, but if you look at, I would think another good example of love in the Bible is with Ruth and her stepmother, how she chose to stay with her when everything was going. Her husband had already died. There wasn't no men to really be with her, and she stayed there. That to me is an example of love. I'm choosing to be here despite everything else saying no. I'm choosing to be here despite my own feelings telling me that I should go somewhere else. So yeah, I'm sorry. I think
that only really applies in a godly relationship.
Yeah.
That's why I think that it's so important to have a foundation in Christ. One, because you could have that mentality about somebody who you really need to be running away from.
Yeah.
And that's not right either. But also, I think that we put so much emphasis on the other person. So much on what this person is supposed to do for you, so much on what this person needs to be, for you or for me. And when you don't have a foundation of Christ, you just can't. You're just not going to be fulfilled ever, because he can't fulfill me. He's a person. I'm a person. I can't complete him. He can't complete me. I need Christ to do that. Yeah. The one who died for me, the one who created me, he can complete me. But if I'm looking to him to give me love, if I'm looking for him to affirm me, if I'm looking to him to make me feel the little tingles or whatever, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be upset. And that's what I really had to realize. Not that I was looking for him to complete me, but I felt like I was lacking the relationship feelings for a while. I felt like it didn't feel like I was told it was going to feel, and I was perplexed. I'm just like, why is this, and I began to question, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right timing? Am I doing something wrong? Am I outside the will of God? And that's the enemy getting a foothold and creeping out through your little mind, but if I learned that I need to remain focused on Christ and to remain in a place of being actively fulfilled by Christ, so that I'm not putting so much pressure on him and what I need him to make me feel.
The basis of your love should be first in Christ. So you have to first know how to love Christ, and then he will give you someone who is on this earth that you can then in turn mirror the relationship that he has with you. And if your relationship with him is out of whack, then your relationship with that person is going to be out of whack completely. Wow. And so once you're in right standing with him, and he brings you the person that you're supposed to be with, it takes cutting away of yourself. It takes cutting away of your pride, of your desires, of your wants, even some of your feelings, so that the relationship between you and that person can mirror the relationship between Christ and the church, which is you. If you look at Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was like, if anything can happen for this to pass me, let it pass me. And then he was like, nonetheless, your will be done, not mine. And we all will come to that point in our relationships. I'm pretty sure she has. I'm pretty sure, and I know I have as well. It's like, God, I don't even. If anything can be done to where this fits my will, let it be done. But you come to the point where it's nonetheless your will be done and not mine. And that's taking control over your feelings. That's taking control over the thoughts that are playing in your mind, and it's not allowing you to be controlled or to become a slave to either sin or depression or anger or frustration or whatever it is that's creeping up on you. It frees you and it gives you liberation. And another thing she explained about seeking God and asking him to fill you, that's so real, because that's something that I really experienced. I think me sharing my experience with her about it allowed her to free herself to that feeling as well. And I went through this point where I was like, God, I don't even know what I feel right now. And I was just like, God, I don't know what this is. You said that this is the person that I'm supposed to be with, but right now I don't feel it. Right now I don't even sometimes like we'll be in the same room. Like right now, I don't even want to. I just rather be by myself because it's just that tense. And so, like I was praying to him and I'm asking him, praying and seeking, and then probably like a week or two ago, he just gave me this. I can't even describe the feeling, but he just gave me this incredible feeling of what love really is and how, that relates to her. Like, it never dies. It's just more time. Sometimes you're more aware, and that's at those times where you're more aware. To me, that's that feeling that most people chase after. But you'll never get to that point unless you know that this is always here. It's just at times I'm more aware of it than other times.
I guess on my side of what he just said, there would be times where like I would just get frustrated. Okay, I would get frustrated out of nowhere. Like he didn't do or say anything. I could be texting him and I'd just be like mad, and I could be like, God, I get this feeling to you, and try to keep on with the conversation. That would really work. But the other morning, God really, he gave me the best like help ever. And so I woke up and I was, after a while, I was texting Cameron about something, and then I began to have that feeling of frustration for literally no reason. Like I couldn't even explain to you why, but I just got really frustrated with our conversation, and I think we were supposed to hang out later that day, but I really didn't want to, just because of how I was feeling in that moment. And so I really wanted to explore like what I was feeling and really, I guess, understand like what it was. And so I kind of isolated myself. I was at a sleepover. I isolated myself, and I was praying. I was asking God, what do I do? So I'm praying, and He reminds me of it's like this ministry we just found. It's called Marriage Today, and it's the leaders of it are Jimmy Evans, and I want to say Sharon Evans. We'll put the link in there somewhere. But they're really awesome. Like they are a marriage ministry, and he told me to go. I had just subscribed to them, but I haven't really watched that many videos. So he told me to go look at one of their videos. And I didn't know which one, but I was just looking for something that related to how I felt. And so I found this little snippet of a video, and what he said in the video, he said, it was the best. And I'm gonna paraphrase, I can't really remember word for word, but basically he said that we are not equipped with the tools that we need to effectively love people the way that Christ loves people. And so in your marriage or in your relationship, you have to actively ask the Holy Spirit, first of all, be real with Him and be like, God, I don't have any patience. I don't have any love. I don't have anything to offer this person. But I know that you are the one who does have it. You are the one who created it, and you have the ability to teach me and to help me and to give those things to me, God. So I need you to fill me up this morning. I need you to, grace my words. I need you to grace my facial expression. I need you to grace my heart so that I'm able to love this person how you want me to love this person. And when I prayed that prayer, it was lit. It was so lit, and like it just gave me so much freedom. And I'm not sure what it is about. I think it really is the idea of specific prayer, but really asking the Holy Spirit to fill you up in a specific way. He loves that. Of course He's going to do it. And so He really did it. And that day, it was the most, that's the day we went.
Was that Monday?
I think that was the day. That day was lit, like the whole day. I ended the day like on cloud 1,000, whatever that means. Just because the Holy Spirit really filled me up, and He really desires for us to have this cohesive relationship, and so He will honor it if you just ask. Come on now. But yeah,
I think to even like further go along with that, if you look at both of us outside of Christ, we're not compatible at all. And so anytime where either one of us begin to try to fulfill this relationship without God, we get frustrated, we don't want to be here, we run away from each other, we seclude ourselves, and we go back to our old reverted ways anytime we're outside of Christ too long, or we're not asking Him to constantly renew us for this. And so what she's explaining is the fact that when you're doing anything for Christ, you have to let him in. You have to constantly let him in to fill you up. Because if you ever get to the point where you feel like, okay, how would I need to keep moving forward, and you continue to move forward, and then you try to put your own fuel inside, and you begin to get frustrated like she was. You begin to seclude yourself like both of us did. You begin to be annoyed like both of us were. You begin to whatever it is that you're choosing to pull away from the other person, that's what you revert to.
You better break it down.
And so
break it down.
What she's explaining is the fact that in a Christ-ordained relationship, believe that it's going to take constant filling of God and constant renewing of what he wants you to have for that other person. Or else it's just not going to work. It's not going to last, and it's going to crumble because who you were outside of Christ and who you were outside of this relationship can't live. It has to die.
Yeah.
It has to die.
Yeah, I really agree with that. Like if your relationship with Christ is weak, this is gonna be weak. Mm-hmm. Only because like he has to teach you how to love this person. He has to be able to move. If this is a godly ordained, if this is a godly thing, he has to be in the midst of it at all times. He can't just you can't have to it. Yeah. And that's a really profound statement, I think.
And trust me, like I think I don't want to scare you guys from this video because it does really sound like we're kind of bashing each other. Like, I hate this, but that's not what it is. It's really a fact that we love each other, and we know that the love is there. But when we are not filled by God to effectively love this person, that's where frustration seeps in. Yeah, so I really just encourage you guys to really find what that love is for you. If you're in a relationship or if you're not, find what that love is for you. If it's with Christ or if it's with your spouse or with your significant other, whatever it is, find that love that Christ wants you to live out for that person. How Christ wants you to interact with them. Find that, explore that, and continue to ask him to fill you up when you run out, because you're going to run out. But ask him to continually to renew you. If it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing. If it's a second by second thing, it's a second by second thing. Whatever it takes to honor God in that relationship, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, and I would say to really just sit down and evaluate your love. Mm-hmm. Like, not even evaluating this person and how you feel like their love is, but evaluate your love and, focus on yourself and really ask God, is the way that I love, this can go for friendships, relationships, whatever, but it's the way that I love pleasing to you. It's the way that I love marrying the way that you love. And if it's not, those are great areas for you to bring up to God and say, God, fill me in these areas and correct me in these areas so I can love like you want for me to love. And, read the Bible about it. Read the stories and the different, things that he has to say about what true love is, and begin to ask him to place those things in your heart as well. And just really, rejuvenate your love. That should be a thing. Rejuvenate your love. Because the best love is God's love. Mm-hmm. The best love is God's love. Jesus' love.
I want to say two things, just because it came up to my mind. One, it's an analogy of a device. It can be your phone, whatever, but you actively plug it into the source to keep it charged. It's going to run out, but you actively plug it up every day so that it consists, so that device can sustain you. And it's the same way with your relationship. You have to constantly be connected to the source, which is Jesus, and being filled by that source so that you can effectively communicate, serve, or whatever to whoever it is, your friends, family, whoever it may be. And then the last thing is that...
And think about how hard you go for your power for your phone. Mm-hmm. You bring your charger in your bag. You be in class looking for an outlet. You be anywhere looking for... You be asking me for the charger. You buy the little portable. You find a way to make sure your phone stays alive. And so in the same way, you got to make sure your love stays alive too. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. And then the last thing is that you can't blame anybody for your relationship except for yourself. You can't blame the person you're in a relationship with. You can't blame anybody but yourself for where your relationship is and what's going on. And I relate it back to Christ again. When Christ was desiring a relationship with you, he didn't blame you for not. He didn't blame you for not wanting to love him back. But he continued to pursue you. He continued to love you the way that you were supposed to be loved. Despite you wanting the love from the world, he continued to show you and pull on you and tug on you. So the last thing that I wanted to say is that don't blame your spouse for anything. Not your spouse, but don't blame your the other person in the relationship for anything. If it's out of line, if you feel like it's out of line, if you feel like something needs to be addressed, that's your issue. That's something that's on your heart. So you have to go about getting it worked out. And you can't blame them for the way they act, because we're just called to love these people. We're not called to change people. We're not called to cultivate people. We're called to love. Period.
That was the last thing he wanted to say, but I got more to say.
Go ahead.
One of the main things I really want people to know from this video is that the world is giving us so many ideas and so many just things that we are supposed to believe encompass love. They're giving us so many things and calling it love, but I really want you guys to realize that it's not. It's a huge trick. It's a huge game. Like, it's a game for them, and they're really just selling us something that's not real. And so if you want a real relationship, if you want a real, love-filled and vibrant relationship, you have to seek the true love of Christ, because that is the only thing that lasts. It's the only love that penetrates. It's the only love that is just fulfilling in every sense that you can imagine. And so, look at the songs you're listening to. Look at how it's making you feel. Look at what you're watching. Look at the Disney movies that's portraying perfect love and Prince Charming. Look at, everything that, and I'm not bashing anything, but everything outside that you're taking in. Look at what you are filtering and considering as love, and really put that stuff on, trial, and be like, what is the legitimacy? How does this line up, and how is this really love? And really, really, really go into what the Bible says about love. Look at Jesus' love for his people. It's so beyond anything you can imagine, and it will transform your life if you can really grasp the concept of true love.
I know I said I was done, but one more thing popped in my mind when she was saying, look at the things that are around you and what they portray as love. And I would even go a step further and compare that feeling that you get from that and compare it to the feeling of God. That feeling that you get from those movies or from those songs or whatever it is that you're looking at, it leaves you in a place of coveting after something. But if you look at what God does, when he encounters you, when you experience love from God, it just leaves you in a place where I'm just content right here with what I have. And that's the difference between real love and the fake or phony love that the world portrays. It leaves you wanting and grabbing at stuff and constantly reaching, constantly in a pursuit, like I said earlier, whereas Christ's love leaves you in a place of, I may not have it all, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm perfectly content in this place that I am, because I know that I'm cared for, I know that I'm looked after, and this is all I need in life.
Alright, we're gonna wrap this up, but feel free to continue, to have this conversation about love in your own household, in your friendship circle, in your relationship, and even with us in our comments or our email or whatever. We're just gonna wrap it up. We just thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope that it just made an impact on you, and that it just sparked some, even like a thought process. I just hope that it does that. So thanks for watching. We love you guys.
Catch you in the comments, though.
Talk to you guys. Bye.
And so I begin to separate myself, and at this moment, I'm clearly being separated by God, but I don't even have enough of a relationship with God to know that I'm being separated by God from these people. And so I separate myself, I isolate myself, and I'm just like, I gotta find something different. And then at that same time is when I really begin to be close with Hannah. I would just go over there, we would sit, we would talk. That was really like my getaway from the craziness